Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here to bring you episode 6 review of Kurei Zombie Desu Ka. It just rolls off the tongue very nicely. And all I'm gonna say is this fucking episode is fucking ridiculous. It's crazy, just point blank, just in the violence, in the plot twist, just I don't even know what to call this. I don't even know what to call it. It's just so much shit happens. So pretty much the last time we left off, Kyoko about to go at it. They go at it. It's kind of one-sided because she was just beating her ass. Not like physically beating her ass, but kind of like embarrassing her because she pulls the same shit that Aikawa uses, or Ayumu, because someone corrected me last week saying that the first name is actually Ayumu. Ayumu, you know how Ayumu talks about human bodies have limits, so they can't keep using they can't go past. But the fact that she has multiple like regeneration skills because she has multiple souls and extra lives and shit, she can go past the limits of a human. So she goes like 100% and 200% and 300% and 400% and 500%. And it's kind of a really disgusting scene because as she's doing this, she's ripping her body apart, like the skin off her hands are just going away. She's coughing up blood and shit because of the power that she's in. None of it can get to you. Just to know that none of these attacks actually hit you. She only gets hit once, and it's kind of because of bullshit. And so you decides, and you tries to warn her, says go home. He's like, I'm not going home. I want to take your life. So you's like, fuck it. All right. And I remember how a few episodes ago she was talking. They were explaining the whole thing about her powers and the reason why she doesn't talk and the emotion thing. On top of the whole, when she stopped harming her because she kept saying "die Ayumu" and shit. Remember how she said words hurt? Words do hurt. Words can kill actually, because all she says is the word "die" and kills her. And she does this repeatedly because she has extra lives. So literally, it's her saying "shine," which is the word Japanese word for die, and she just keeps dying. It's actually really hard to watch because it's like "shine," and she's just like blah, blah. She's just like coughing up blood, falling over, and just keep coming up, falling over, falling over, and shit. And to the point where Kyoko's like, and Kyoko at this point is going crazy. Just to throw that out there, she's going fucking crazy. So what she decides to do is she actually sticks her hand in her ears so hard it causes her to go deaf. So she can't hear the word die anymore. She can't hear the word shine anymore. And she's like, and this, mind you, she's lost her fucking mind. So she walks over to her, grabs her, and detonates herself. Also, the note here, she does take Haruna's chainsaw and turns into a Maso Shoujo herself, technically. Which I don't know if she's naturally not Maso Shoujo, but she can turn into one. I guess it's something I should have mentioned earlier. She does this at the beginning of the fight. At the beginning of the episode, actually. And, anyways, Kyoko detonates one of her lives away. And it doesn't even really make her bleed or anything. It kind of just knocks her unconscious. That's all she managed to do. Kyoko only managed to knock her unconscious, which I thought was kind of funny. Because she was still cocky as shit about it. And then she had, then Ayumu, Haruna was like, fuck it. Haruna, you can see the development in her because she was like, I don't know what it is, but right now, seeing her beat you, it's really pissing me off. It's like because you probably care for her. He's like, you're probably right. And then fucking Sarah's like, oh, I have a new technique. Help me name it when we get home. He's like, sure. So she runs at her, and he's like, and she's like, Sumabashi technique, untitled. And what it really is a giant version of her grass spinning move. You know where the leaves are like swords and shit? It's about that. And she swings it down, and it gets deflected. It's kind of sad. And then Haruna comes at her with the chainsaw. That doesn't work. And she gets thrown back and crashes into Yumu. And then Yumu has to turn into the Maso Shoujo again to fight her. And this is really fucked up. This next part actually made me cringe a little bit just because of what you had to deal with. Like, the first part made you cringe. Because during the whole her telling Kyoko to die, she's cringing every time she says it. She's cringing. She kind of starts off calmly, and then she just starts cringing. So it's actually really bad to watch. This next part's really bad to watch too, because he goes on this tirade. Ayumu goes on this fucking tirade. Pretty much, he's like, "Thank you for killing me," because now it's like I took the peace I had for granted. I took everything for granted. But at the same time, he's still pissed because he's like, "You've taken too many fucking lives. You gotta pay for this. And I'm gonna make you come back to reality by taking every one of your lives, but one of them." He said he would leave her with one life. And she's like, and she keeps telling him to die, and he's like, "I can't die. I'm a zombie." And so what she does is he actually grabs her at one point while walking closer to her after her keeps stabbing him. And pretty much she's like, "Let go," and she slashes him again. He falls over, and then this motherfucker spins the chainsaw and cuts her in half. And it's just like, holy crap! Like, this is probably one of the most gory scenes in this anime so far. It's not like gory by like holy shit standards, but it's fairly gory, especially the next part. The next part. Because after she cuts him in half, she's like, "No, you're going to have to pay for every one of those lives you took." Because at this point, we already know she's the one who killed Ayumu originally. So he flips the fuck out and just kills her, like, repetitively. In the next few minutes, all you hear is her screaming, blood flying everywhere, and it's just a horrible, it's actually just a really fucked up scene. It's just like, you just hear Kyoko screaming for like about 2 minutes, and and then the fucking train saw going off and blood being splattered upon the screen on some level. And then when it really boils down to it, she has one life left. And this is where Kyoko, I think, got calmed the fuck down, because now she's starting to beg for life, get into this whole scared, like, 5-year-old girl bullshit. It's ridiculous. And he's like, "No, you're going to pay for what she does." So he drops the fucking chainsaw, and he comes at her with the fist. He comes out with the fist and just goes, whoosh! And the fucking ground cracks and everything. What's funny, because he does like what a lot of shonen characters do, where they act like they're about to finish it, but it's like her face is here, the fist is here. So he intentionally missed. And they go pick up, and then they go get you and put her to the tree to see if she woke up, let her know everything's fine. He was very calm and very happy. Well, as happy as you can ever get. And then a random person shows up. And this will be the screen, this will be the thumbnail for this video. We finally get to see what Dai Sensei look like. We find out that Kyoko is indeed one of her students, and that she also teaches a lot of fucking students. She teaches like around millions of students, which is ridiculous. So apparently she has to go back and like rehabilitate her. And you see, it's ridiculous. Also, she also makes a threat to Yuma. It's like, if you had killed her, I would have killed you. And it's like, but I understand how you feel. And then there's like a random scene where she like makes fire come out of her hand, burns the crap out of Yuma. And Yuma thought he was gonna die because it's fire. You know, zombies can't deal well with fire. And so anyways, everything's kind of mellowing out and shit. It's like, oh, Kyoko woke up, and at this point I'm like, okay, maybe she's calmed down, because she looked like a scared 5-year-old right before he shocked her into unconsciousness. Apparently Kyoko, we don't even know what Kyoko's personality is now, because I think Kyoko's personality is still good. And the reason why I say this is because when she gets back up, we find out that she has been possessed. And that Yu knows the person possessing Kyoko. But even though all you see is a black smog and shit. With this being the case, he kind of just takes Kyoko's body again and leaves. And he's like, and Dai Sensei, it's funny because Dai Sensei only came there to pick up the tofu, which got ruined during the fight. But pretty much the black person, we are later explained near the end of the episode, because everything goes back to normal on some level. We're explaining in the episode that the black thing that's taking over Kyoko is a zombie that you kill, because you apparently created this other zombie. And this is a while ago, but he was consumed by her malice, so he became evil. And so with that, she killed him, and apparently he did not die. Apparently, so that's the situation there, and that's really how the episode ends. It's really kind of fucked up, in my opinion. And like, it gets chilled out and everything goes back to normal. And I guess the last thing I should mention is that when they're back at the house and they're relaxing and shit, Ayumu bothers to asks her 2 questions about the zombie dude. It's like, was he your lover? She's like, no. And the second thing is is she happy with her new life? And she's like, it's not bad, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm gonna say point blank, this is my favorite seasonal anime right now. Like I like this over Beelzebub. I like this over Infinite Stratos. I like this over Gosick. I like this show in general. I like the game. I like the zone. It has a very interesting plot, and I'm actually really. I wish I didn't have to wait a week to see the next episode, and I think the next episode introduces the third, not the fourth girl in the harem. Because if you've ever seen Korei wa Zombie Desu previews, it's not really a preview. What it is a picture and then a whole bunch of talking in the background. But you hear a new voice in the talking in the background. It's talking about the Tsundere Cafe, and it's funny because the girl who's in the picture of Korei wa Zombie Desuka's poster is carrying food. So, and plus that she's also in the opening. So I'm thinking we're introduced to the fourth girl in the harem next episode. And there's actually, and just to know, I'm not doing the episode justice, even though I've explained virtually everything, because there's a deep message about how there are so many untold secrets in life, and how you should really appreciate the boredom. Ironically, you know how when you're younger, you always wish that you could do some crazy shit, like go to a different world and crap. This anime reminds you, well, at least this episode did, that the peace and quiet is one of those things that you really should cherish because it's not always there. And it's actually a really good episode. There's a lot of deepness and a lot of fucked up shit. There's a lot of shit that kind of made me cringe a little bit, just because I didn't expect it coming. Like, this show so far has been like, it begins like a weird harem, and then it has like a really deep plot. So it's kind of crazy, and I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. Point blank, I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. Put in the comment section what you thought about this episode. I thought it was fucking awesome. Just point blank, I thought it was fucking awesome. How do you feel about Kyoko now? Because now that we know that she's being possessed, which I kind of wonder, was she being possessed? I'm assuming she was being possessed the entire time. The only reason why we knew she was possessed now was because of voice change. What do you think of Dai Sensei? To me, kind of comes off as somewhat of an asshole, and doesn't look like a teacher at all. It seems kind of ditzy, like Haruna for that matter. What else? What are your thoughts? These are like one of my favorite reviews to do, just because they're crazy as shit. Like this and the Pokemon reviews are like my favorite reviews, ironically. So I'll really look into the comments on these two. So tell me what you guys thought in the comment section below about this shit, because this shit mind fucked the hell out of me. Like last week was like ridiculous. This week was fucking nuts. Just fucking nuts. And we don't even know what. It's just crazy. So, life's a game. Play to win. Don't be a zombie. And I'll catch you guys later.